welcome in to my YouTube channel. Today, it's a little bit different. Well, first of all, wearing white, which is strange. And I'm talking to you directly, which doesn't happen on this channel very often. I don't really know where to look. I want to look at myself, but I also want to look at you because I'm talking to you. But it feels weird to talk directly into the camera. I don't know. Is this weird for you guys? Do you feel weird? Anyway, the reason I'm here today is to showcase my tattoos to you. I don't have very many. I do have plans to be almost completely covered in tattoos. I've been getting tattooed since I was 19, I believe was when I got my first tattoo. But I had always wanted tattoos since I was like, I want to say around 12. I think I started getting pretty keen on the idea. So, I had some pretty terrible ideas back then. And I remember when I turned 16, I asked my parents if I could get a tattoo, knowing the answer would be no. Anyway, but I used to scribble on myself. Like designs, or I used to really want words, and you know what? I'm glad that I didn't get any text. I was gonna get a line from a Bukowski poem, which is what I wanted when I was 16. And I'm glad that I didn't get that, even though it still is a very important poem to me. I think, it still has meaning and all that, but I'm just, I'd rather have a picture. I feel like pictures are, or images, artwork, it says a lot more than words will ever say, and it looks cooler. So, anyways, I was 16, wanted to get a tattoo. Parents said no. They were trying to say, as all parents do when, their kid wants a tattoo, it's just a phase, you're gonna get over it. When you get older, you're not gonna want them anymore, so on and so forth. And I was like, okay, well, technically when I turn 18, I can get a tattoo. And I was like, I'm not even gonna go right away. I'm gonna prove to them that I'm serious about this, and I'm gonna wait. And I think I waited an extra 2 years. Like, I was 19 or 20 when I first started getting tattooed. I went and got my first tattoo. I knew what I had wanted, but it was very spontaneous, kind of like spur of the moment thing. I just showed up at the tattoo shop, and I was like, is there anybody available to tattoo this? Like, it's something small. It's gonna be really hard to show you in real time, so I will have pictures that I will put so you guys can see. And that is tree pose on my ankle. This is probably my only tattoo that really has a lot of meaning, which makes sense for a first tattoo because, of course, everyone is always like, well, make sure if you get a tattoo, so you're really serious about it, and make sure it's important to you, and blah, blah, blah. And you know how people are, right? With tattoos. What does it mean? What does it mean?
What does it mean? What does it mean?
I was really, really into yoga. I still am. Not as consistently as I was. I used to go to classes and stuff. I used to do yoga every single day. But, a lot of my tattoos since then have, they have meaning to me. They don't have, textbook strict meaning, but, more of, it's an elusive meaning. It's just, the thing with tattoos as well is, you can kind of, they can adopt a meaning as you go through life with them, as they join you on your journey. And they don't necessarily have to have meaning, but they can remind you of a specific time in your life. And that is meaningful, I think. So yes, I got tree pose on my ankle, and then that signifies, it's a balancing pose. And it signifies balance because balance was something that I was really lacking in my life. And it was a big reason I was struggling so much. So I'm constantly reminded here on my leg, balance is key. Balance is so important in literally all elements of life. So yeah, that was my first tattoo, just this little guy. My parents were really, really upset when I first got that tattoo, but ultimately, it's my body, and it's something important to me. It's something I enjoy. And it's something that makes me feel better about myself, however you want to interpret that. That was my first tattoo. And they were kind of like, okay, well, they came around to it. Oh, you got one. It has meaning. It's special to you. We get that. We understand that. Okay, one and done, right? Yeah, totally. Not much longer after that, I think I got my second tattoo, which is on my shoulder here. This one has some meaning to me as well. If I had to like pick a certain element, what kind of witch I am, I would feel like I would be a lunar witch because, and especially as a woman, the moon goddess, I mean, a lot of our lives are tied to the moon, with our whole moon cycle, our periods. The moon has always just really been a powerful force in my life. I always make time on the full moon to go out, take a look at it, go for a walk, just let those moon rays wash over me. I do like full moon rituals. They're a really good time to like check in with yourself, do some meditation, some journaling, divination, whatever the case may be. So the moon is definitely an important part of my life and it looks awesome. And so yeah, that was my second tattoo. Also, it's funny because much later in life after I've gotten this tattoo, I end up getting a cat. And my cat's name is Moon. But I didn't name her Moon. She came with the name Moon. So now it's kind of like a little bit of it's adopted meaning over time, like I was saying. I also have, I'm getting ahead of myself. I gotta go in order, right? I should go in order of when I got my tattoos. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna be, I don't know if I remember the exact order that I got them all in. But I'll try my best anyway. My third tattoo, I was fully committed to the tattoo life now. I wanted to get something big. Initially, I wanted to get it on my ribs because I was still a little like, you know, I felt like it was the best place to hide it. So the design, I'll show you. It's on my thigh here. We ended up doing it on my thigh because, I mean, it was only my third tattoo and the ribs are a pretty spicy location. And that was made clear to me by my tattoo artist and he wasn't super comfortable with tattooing on the ribs either. And so we kind of discussed it and we both decided the thigh would be probably the best spot. So initially my inspiration, there is a book by Brandon Boyd, who is the vocalist of Incubus, which Incubus was like one of my favorite bands for a really long time. Incubus is one of my fans. I would die. Let me get the book actually. Okay, so he has a couple art books. So this particular image really stood out to me in this book. At the time I was studying Hinduism and Buddhism actually. This is the Hindu god Ganesh. So yeah, I took this book in and I said to him that I would like this design, or something similar rather. It was more for inspiration. So he kind of took what I wanted and made it his own, which is awesome. And it turned out so good and I love it a lot. So after that, oh gosh, what was my next tattoo? I need more things for show and tell actually. Okay, so I think this was my fourth tattoo. I could be mistaken, but this makes sense to me. So I got a design on my inner arm here. This right here. You can see, okay, so in this little like dark gap right here, that used to be a different tattoo. This is a cover-up. This is a cover-up. I originally had this design from the Strokes album. Not even because I really loved the Strokes. I just thought it was a really cool way of getting the card faces tattooed on me. Because I wanted that. Because at the time, I was like obsessed with cards. I was obsessed with card games. Brendan, I used to carry a pack of cards, just regular playing cards with me. Everywhere I went, they're always in my purse. So like any occasion, if there was like downtime, if we went to the bar or whatever the case may be, I would have a pack of cards so we could play some card games. The only reason I got that I got that covered up was because it was so small. Because then after that, I started getting the sleeve done and I was like, oh shit. I want to have another sleeve. This is advice for you guys getting tattoos. If you want to get, like, just don't waste your canvas space on something small. If you want to get a small tattoo, make sure you put it in a location that, like, suits it being small. In case you change your mind. I mean, you can always cover it up, so it's not really the end of the world, but it makes things a little bit easier. And then after that, I got this gal. She was the beginning of my sleeve. This whole arm is like witchy, woodland, magical. Like, she's like the witch of the dark witch of the woods, you know? So that's a theme that we have going for this arm. Maybe I'll go through my whole arm right now. This one is an owl skull, with some like moths and some feathers and stuff, which I really love, and I really love the colors. What else do we have? Then I got, I think next after that was, it was the lantern here. I got the lantern on my forearm after that, you know, to light our way through the dark woods. And then I got the fairy house. The fairy mushroom house. Complete with some fairies as well, just flying around. They're not at home right now. They're flying around. They're feeding fruit to the bats, actually. You can see there's like a little apple there, and one's collecting a fallen petal. And so they live here in the mushroom house because mushrooms are awesome. And there's some critters. There's even like a little owl in the window, and like there's lots of really great details. There's a spider web, and then of course I got my little snake boy in between. He's kind of behind all that. Yeah, I really love like the story that we've kind of put together as we started tattooing this arm. We've got this little guy, this little Kodama. If you've seen Princess Mononoke, they're like the little forest spirits, which was very fitting for the theme of our arm. I guess we can start talking about my legs, because that kind of happened in between. My thigh, we're gonna stick with like traditional Asian style tattooing. So I have plans to go forward with some tattoos on my thighs for that. And then my calf here, I would like to kind of dedicate to gaming or like anime kind of style tattoos, things that I like, because that's kind of where we went with that. I have Kirby. I have like dark Kirby as a witch tattooed on my leg here. There's two tattoos. There's two Nintendo tattoos on my leg because I'm a Nintendo girl for life. I always try to like spookify my tattoos. So we got Grim Reaper, Dry Bones on one side, and Witchy Dark Kirby on the other. And those are both done by a friend of mine who was just apprenticing. She was just starting out getting tattooed, and I was like, I will offer my skin for you. And so she did, and she loves gaming too, so it was a lot of fun to get those done by her. And I think she did a great job. And unfortunately, she passed away last year. So now I have this really nice memory of her. She's done actually a few more, which I'll get to. So yeah, I'm glad I have her legacy on my skin forever. The one facing forward on my shin is from another Studio Ghibli film called My Neighbor Totoro, which is my favorite one. And I got Totoro on his face, but kind of zombified. His skin is like dripping off, so it's pretty morbid. Of course. This is what I mean by spookifying my tattoos. This was a flash that I saw from a tattoo artist in Toronto. I literally drove to Toronto for it. I was like, that's so cool. I need to have that. It kind of also reminds me of Frank from Donnie Darko. So that's just like a bonus. It gets mistook for that. And I'm like, you know what? Either way, I'm okay with that either way. Guess we'll go to my left leg. There's nothing on my thighs yet. My next tattoo is actually going to be a big dragon, a big like dark fantasy dragon on my thigh. That'll be next. So this leg is all dark fantasy, kind of like medieval stuff. I have a skull with horns on my shin. I like to think of him as like the guard. I kind of want to put some sort of like helmet or crown, like spiky crown on him to like kind of fill in the gaps on my knee here. That was my first addition to this leg. Actually, that's a lie. There's a tiny knife with a bow on my ankle, which I got from the same friend who was apprenticing that I was just talking about, who did the Nintendo tattoos on my other leg. That was like one of the first tattoos she actually ever did. Was the knife with the bow, which was super cute. And then I got the back of my calf done, and we've got the castle. It's like very Bloodborne inspired. Got the big spires. It's spiky and dark and spooky. And, we've got bats flying around in the full moon. And, yeah, it's pretty rad. It looks like it's kind of like up on a mountain. So that's our castle, which our knight in the front has to defend. And we got a weapon for him, which is my favorite medieval weapon, which is the flail of the Morning Star. It's super badass. Just a spiky death ball. I love it. It looks so gnarly. So that filled in the gap on this side. And then on the left side is probably the only tattoo on my body I like really don't like. I think I was really frustrated about this like awkward gap that was left between my two tattoos, and I was like just really struggling to decide what to put there, and I should have really probably given it more thought, but I just hated looking at that gap that I was like, I just need to get anything tattooed there. I don't care. So I got this like flash, I got a flash candle, and I was like, that makes sense because it was only candlelight and whatever. Candles are awesome. Candles are super cool. I use candles all the time. I love candlelight. And they're very ritualistic. And I was like, yeah, I'm okay with that. We'll put a cool candle. But then the candle that I got tattooed, I didn't really like. I felt like it didn't really fill up the space how I was imagining. So I ended up going back and asking him to kind of like jazz it up a little bit and make it just fill in the space more. So to me, it looks a little awkward because I know it was like the certain things that were added as an afterthought. But I'm a lot happier with it now. I feel like it fills in the space nicely, and you can't even really like, unless you look closely, you can't even really tell, the things that I may not love about it. But you know what? It is what it is. No regrets necessary, because by the time I fill in the rest of my leg, it's gonna hardly stand out, I think we've got everything on my legs, right? For now, anyway. Let's move on to my other arm. So, what did I get tattooed? Okay, I think I got this. This was a flash piece, like a traditional almost style. It's the devil. The devil corrupting the maiden. He's licking her neck. I love it. I think it's great. There's like a little spider boy. This was also a flash piece, which is adorable. It's a little black cat holding a knife. Like, it was a Halloween flash that I got, and I thought, I just love it so much. What else do I have? This was the cover-up, which is a wraith, spooky wraith, which filled in the space pretty nicely. What made me actually want to get a wraith tattooed on my arm here what solidified that as a good idea was when I was playing The Witcher 3. This was before I started playing on stream. I used to play it a little bit in my own time here and there. And I was like, oh, I just thought the race, I just think they're such a cool creature. Like, what a cool design. And I felt like it fit the theme really well. And I thought, oh, it would be dark enough to like work as a cover up. So that's what I ended up getting there on my shoulder, or at the top of my arm here, is actually this tattoo has a lot of meaning too. I lied earlier when I said that my first tattoo was the only one with a lot of meaning, because I would say this one has a lot of meaning as well, because it's a memorial tattoo for my cat. When I moved out, I got a cat. It was the first time ever owning a cat. We rescued him right off the bat as soon as we did. He was a Siamese. He was sick right away. He had like a lot of health issues and stuff. We had to take him to the vet and get him all cleaned up and whatnot. And he was doing okay for a little bit. But he did have a tendency to fall ill, and he just fell ill to the point where we had to keep him overnight, and they were going to run tests on him, and they couldn't really figure out what was going on. And he ended up dying while in their care. It was absolutely heartbreaking, but I wanted to memorialize him forever. So I had a nice little spot here, and that's my boy Lou. And then I got this done. This was from a tattoo artist that was originally from Korea, and they were guest tattooing at a shop in Toronto. So I had followed her page. I always thought her tattoos were really awesome. And then I saw she was going to be in Toronto, and I was like, oh my God, I have to take this opportunity to go get tattooed by her. I feel like I would regret not doing it. And this design is incredible. And I feel like it's almost like a sister to this one in a way. What else? This one also has meaning. I guess I lied a lot. I guess my tattoos have more meaning than I give them credit for. This was a design done by someone really, really special to me. She drew a bunch of little ghosts, like a sheet of ghosts that were all themed or styled after people in our community, in our Twitch community. And the one that she did for me, I just thought it was adorable. I just loved it so much. And this definitely fits the theme of my arm. I think I was like, oh, that would make a great tattoo. And then a couple of us that also have tattoos in the community that were like, in agreement, and we were like, should we get this tattooed? Are we gonna have matching tattoos? Are we gonna have matching ghost tattoos? So yeah, there was a few of us that actually did it, and I love it. I love it so much. It's so special to me. I guess we can talk about my ribs. It's kind of, I wanted to get like a black mirror, which is a form of divination. You can scry in a black mirror. There was a Alisana album that I was really into called The Emptiness. On the front cover, there's like a cool, like ornate mirror, and I always thought that would like make a cool tattoo. So it kind of, that kind of went into it a little bit. Last but not least, I think this would be last. Yeah. And this is also my most recent tattoo, so that's perfect. But it's interesting because my back tattoo is built around something that I already had. And that was one of my earlier tattoos. I would say it might have even been like my 5th or 6th tattoo. So pretty early on, I got a dagger, like ornate dagger, which in like Wicca, it's used ritualistically. It's like a ceremonial blade. They call it a thame. I believe that's how you pronounce it. And it's usually used in rituals for like directing energy, casting circles, etc. I thought that was cool. And snakes are also super symbolic, so I got a snake wrapped around it, which is more of like a traditional design as well. And then recently I was like, I want to get my whole back done because of course all this empty space, we had to fill it up. But I just wanted something kind of just ornate. I wanted something symmetrical, just a design, just like with like, maybe something floral or with filigree or something geometric. Really, I didn't have much of a preference. I just kind of wanted to fill in the space with something cool that would complement the dagger and the snake that I already have, that's what I got, and it looks so awesome. I am so happy with my back tattoo. It's amazing. And yeah, That's it. That's was it insufferable to just like hear me talk like this? I feel like I talk so much. I don't even know. It's so weird talking. Like, I know I talk to myself all the time on stream, but I don't really, because I'm like, oh, there's people here answering me and stuff. Like, I'm like fully alone right now. No, I'm not alone. You're here with me, and thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate you watching all the way to the end. I hope you enjoyed my thoughts. I guess if you guys have questions about my tattoos, put them down in the comments below, and I will get back to you. It's hard to like think of all the things that to say about them. So if there's anything else you want to know, let me know down below, and I will get back to you, and we'll figure it out. But yeah, I hope you really enjoyed this video and my tattoos and my tattoo journey, and maybe we can do a part 2 once things start filling out a little bit more. I have lots of tattoo plans, so when I've doubled in tattoos, we can do like a Tattour part 2. And yeah, watch the highlight videos. Like and subscribe and all the stuff, you know, that you say as a YouTuber. Do all of that if you want. I hope you guys have a super groovy rest of your time zone. Don't forget, also, I do stream on Twitch 4 days a week, so if you want to come catch me live to shoot the shit, watch me play some video games, and yell a lot, and be just generally inappropriate. And sometimes we sing as well. I sing and play guitar, or we do music reactions every Sunday if you're into that. So yeah, come check us out over on Twitch. And until next time, okay, guys? Have a good night, okay? Thanks for watching.